Welcome back to the Sanctuary of the Grieving Goddess. I am she. This is a space where we tell the truth about grief. Not the polite version, not the version people are comfortable hearing, but the real experience. And today we're talking about a part of grief that shocks almost everyone. The grief that shows up long after everyone believes you're okay. I'm talking the waves, the ambush moments, the random days that break you when you least expect it. If you would, take a breath with me. Release your shoulders. Let your jaw soften. And if you need to cry today, you are safe here. There's something most people don't understand about grief, and that is it doesn't end, it circles back. And it's not because you're stuck, it's not because you're failing, it's not because you haven't moved on. It's because love doesn't end. And when love is permanent, grief comes in waves. You can be years into your healing and still have a night where a memory knocks the air out of your body, or a scent, or a song, a face that looks like theirs, a joke they would have laughed at, a milestone they didn't get to reach, a season that they loved, or a holiday they used to feel full. Anything, absolutely anything, can reopen the part of your heart where they lived. And here's the truth. That doesn't mean you're back at the beginning. It means your heart remembers. Grief is not a straight line. It's more like a circle with no perfect exit. People who haven't lived through intense grief often imagine that it has stages and that once you pass them, you're done. But that's not how the heart works. Grief is a relationship with what is gone. And because of that, it shifts as you grow. So your grief at 6 months is not your grief at 6 years. Your grief at 25 is not your grief at 40. We change, and that grief changes with us. Memories hit differently when you reach an age that your loved one never got to see. You achieve something that they would have been really proud of. You hold someone's baby and feel the loss physically. Or you find joy again and then feel guilty immediately for it. You start becoming the future that you once imagined together. The grief that returns isn't the same pain. Sometimes it's a new pain, born from a new understanding. Sometimes the grief wave looks like waking up crying for no clear reason, having a great day and then suddenly collapsing, seeing a stranger with a smile that reminds you of theirs, hearing their name in a crowded place, laughing and then feeling guilt wash over you, feeling like you're betraying them just by being happy, having a vivid dream and waking up shattered, forgetting for 1 second and then remembering, driving and suddenly breaking down, or standing in a grocery store aisle holding their favorite food. And sometimes the wave isn't a date or a holiday at all. Sometimes it's something beautiful, something that used to make you laugh, that now makes your chest ache. I want to share a moment from my life because I know we all have our own version of this. So my kids grew up watching me clean the house with music blasting. And as they got older, some of those songs became our songs, our inside jokes, our shared joy, our soundtrack as a family. One of those songs was Fantasia's When I See You. It was my jam. But over time, it became my son Kenji's song as well. He loved it so much that he once recorded himself dancing to it and went viral on Facebook. He was pure joy, the kind of joy that was contagious, the kind that lingered in a room long after he left it. And there was this one day I'll never forget. We were driving to go see my son Carlin and to pick up my grandbaby. I was driving, Kenji was asleep in the passenger seat, and my daughter Olivia was in the back. And When I See You came on the radio. And in the middle of his sleep, Kenji shot up, cranked the volume all the way up, and started belting that song like he had been awake the whole time. Me and Liv laughed and laughed because this boy really woke up from a coma just to sing our song. And that moment, that small, random memory, is burned into my heart forever. And today, Every time I hear that song, my heart breaks in a way that words can't touch because all it makes me think about is my baby, his voice, his joy, that car ride, that moment that was ours. And this is what I want you to understand. Grief comes back out of nowhere because love is stored in memories you aren't trying to remember. Not the big moments, but the small ones. That random Tuesday, that inside joke, that song you used to play loud, the way they walked into the room. And that's why the wave hurts so bad, because it comes from a place of joy. And joy and pain live right next to each other when the person you love is gone. Those moments feel unfair because you didn't choose them. They chose you. And you feel ambushed by your own heart, as if grief has been waiting in the dark for the right moment to speak again. Here's the piece that almost no one says out loud. The returning grief is not a setback. It's a continuation. It's your love looking for a place to land in a life that's moving forward. It's your memory adjusting to a world where they are missing. It's proof that they mattered, they shaped you, and you are still connected. There is no shame in that. The world forgets. The painful part is not the waves themselves. It's how the world reacts to them. People think, it's been long enough. You seem fine now. You're still sad? I thought you were over it. And what they don't understand is grief has no calendar, only memories, only love. And love is timeless. So while everyone else's life is moving forward, your heart is still time traveling back to the people you lost. Grief that comes back out of nowhere is your heart catching up to what your life demanded too quickly. Let me say this gently. If the grief comes back, it's not because you're broken. It's not because you're failing. It's not because you're weak. It's because you are someone who loved deeply. And love keeps bonds alive, even in absence. The wave is the proof, not of pain, but of attachment. I want to take a moment and read the compassion insight from chapter 6 of the Foundations of Grief workbook. I really like this one because it grounds me and reminds me that grief circling back is our humanity speaking and not our failure. Grief doesn't move in straight lines. It rises without warning, in the middle of a good day, during a quiet moment, or after something small reminds you of what you've lost. Those waves aren't setbacks. They're evidence of your love. Understanding this helps you release the idea that you're going backwards. You are not. Your heart is processing in layers, and some layers take time to surface. Sudden grief hits because certain memories or sensations wake up tender places you didn't know were still open. And that doesn't mean you're broken. It means the loss mattered deeply. This insight helps soften the shock of those unexpected moments. They are not failures. They're part of grief's natural rhythm. You don't have to explain it, fix it, or fight it. Just breathe through it. Let this understanding remind you that when grief appears out of nowhere, it's not pulling you backward. It's simply showing where your heart is still healing. Now I want to ask you, where did your last wave come from? And what did it show you about the depth of your love? You don't have to answer that right now, but when you do, answer it honestly. If this episode brought a memory forward, if a song, a laugh, or a moment flashed through your mind, you don't have to carry that alone in your body. The Foundations of Grief workbook is a private space for that kind of wave. The ambush moments, the moments that are joyful and painful at the same time, the love that lives in ordinary details. Inside this workbook, you'll find questions that help you hold yourself and your memories with tenderness without collapsing into it. You'll find space to write about the support you truly need in those moments. Song, the drive, the laughter, the voice you still hear, the version of you that existed in that memory. This is not homework, it's a companion, a sacred place for the parts of grief that don't fit into timelines or stages, the grief that returns out of nowhere. If today feels heavy, if something in you is asking to be acknowledged, the link is in the bio and in the description. You can land there gently. What helps when grief returns, if this wave is hurting you right now, or if you're scared of the next one, here's what I learned. Don't fight it. Let the wave move through your body. Cry if you need to. Talk if you need to. Write if you need to. Sit in silence if you need to. Grief is a tide. It pulls in and out. Trying to hold still only makes you drown in it. When the wave comes, breathe. Don't judge yourself. Don't let anyone shame your timeline. Don't collapse inward alone. Allow softness. And remember, this moment won't last forever. Waves are temporary. Love is permanent. The grief that comes back out of nowhere is one of the truest forms of grief. It comes back because love is still alive inside you. It comes back because memory never dies. It comes back because the bond isn't over. The physical presence is. If today is heavy, if you are crying with no reason, if your heart is remembering loudly, you are not alone. Not here, never in this sanctuary. In the next episode, we're talking about something many grievers feel but almost never admit: when you're angry at the person you lost. The anger, the guilt, the confusion, the love underneath it. Until then, please be gentle with your waves. Be gentle with your triggers. Be gentle with the parts of you still learning how to love in absence. Welcome to the sanctuary.